I think it's going to be a 2-0 SG.PRO.
Okay.
I think,
I'm edging towards it.
yeah.
I can definitely see it happening, but I feel like HELLRAISERS will pull it out on Dust 2.
Okay. Okay, I want to see. If I don't see that structure and that trading, I'm going to be a little sad, Screw. But I'm hopeful because HELLRAISERS won the knife. They get to decide where they want to start. And it's kind of dependent on where your comforts lie on a map like Dust 2. The CT side has become a bit simpler in the fact that retakes Bs are made unreal. Like, so just one little change in flipping the doors has changed the whole context of the CT side. And they are going to decide to start on the CT side.
Oh, well, it does appear, sir.
Ooh, the odds.
The boys over at LootBet, they fancy HELLRAISERS. At least on this one. So at least at the moment, the live odds, right? They do change, but with the way that the pick works, you want to get involved, of course. Banner down below. Get the bonus deposit. 10 free spins as well. And maybe you can use them on this game if you've got an idea, if you've got a bit of a secret strategy of how this one's going to go. Contact coming in. Kalinka will indeed go 1-for-1. Oh, that's a bit awkward out at long. Jalem, the patience pays off for him. Finds Stinator. Little split across the map from SG.PRO so far, and they'll find themselves a man down early on.
Dire, this is a big fight in towards B. If he wins it, it's going to change how this round will be played out. And when his teammate's dying towards Cat, he's got to connect a shot. It has to happen, and problem. No issues whatsoever for him. Simple jiggling and tapping away. Fame. Up catwalk. Spotted and head removed. Clearly, HELLRAISERS are very proficient with those USPs. 2 from Jalem, and the rest will do the cleaning. That is a great start from HELLRAISERS. Question is, will SG.PRO buy? Are they going to save? I think without a plant at most T sides, we'll just save here. Buy a flash, maybe a couple P250s. But not much mustard behind it. Although I am a big fan of mustard on my sandwiches, not mustards on buys like this.
No, that would be a bit weird. The gun would probably jam up and stop working, you know?
Well, the AKs apparently work really well when
True, I mean, that is the ultimate test.
Yeah.
You know? The all-reliable Kalashnikov. I wonder what he was like. You know? It's pretty cool, though. I mean, in a sense, to be an inventor or whatever and have a gun named after you. Was he just a general? I'm not entirely sure. I know he was a dude. I know he existed.
Well, it's looking pretty good, though, for HELLRAISERS. No one will fall. USP from JR. And I want to see if SG.PRO, right? Because when you play a team that has 2-star players, right, and you mechanically probably outweigh them pound for pound, how are you going to isolate JR? How are you going to deal with Flare Ridge? How are you going to isolate these players to shut them down so they don't have so much effect on you once the ops come out and once he figures out that the M4s and the fights you want to take? How are you going to eliminate the possibility of him popping off? That's what the SG.PRO hopefully are considering. But with AKs aplenty, it is the basically bonus buy from HELLRAISERS, keeping that MP9, the Scout, and FAMAS. And it's a pretty standard setup. Actually, it's a little off standard. I think they're only doing this 2B, 1 mid setup purely because of the weaponry. That's going to change once the guns come out from HELLRAISERS, unless they're really, really confident on the retake A's.
Ooh. Crunchy headshot to open us up from JR. Kalinka in a great little spot here in at middle to catch a few players off guard as well. Oh, they walk straight into him. The double spray down coming in for the FAMAS. That might just seal the deal. Jalem around to help out. SG.PRO not looking good early on at all, Keith. 19 HP for Dire here. 1 versus 5. Not a single point of damage yet for the T side. This is a very poor start indeed. HELLRAISERS looking great on their CT side.
Well, hey. That bonus round turns into AKs now. They're going to try to turn this into 4 rounds, which is looking very likely. Not a single kill from SG.PRO. The perfect Dust 2 CT side start is happening right now. And JR shutting it down, as you said, a crunchy scout headshot to Linka. He did not move from that cubby angle the entire round. He was sat there, waiting, ever so patient. And now SG.PRO's players will grab up some armor, some deagles here, Scriv. It's HELLRAISERS. Charge forward economically, round-wise. And so far, impressed with their calmness. I don't feel panic. I feel structure. At least the early vibes that I'm getting. Scriv?
Yeah.
Oh, you're having the same issue.
We've both been hit by the same issue, yeah.
Okay, see, I thought I was alone in that, and I was like, I'm just gonna not say anything, and maybe Scriv will just start.
That's what I was also hoping to do.
You're waiting for me? I stopped because, yeah.
I'm glad you messaged me, but it seems we've lost our feed here.
Our feed has gone bye-bye. That'll be fixed quickly, I imagine. But we can kind of just fill and hang out. I imagine I'm gonna sit up and turn the camera back on because maybe they want to show my pretty face. That requires me to put my hat on, Scriv. So give me 1 moment.
Okay, no worries. Trying to keep up on HLTV to maybe give a bit of an update here as well.
Ooh, nice little radio cast. Your best Galilez. Yeah.
Give it a go.
Not a bad idea.
Just the Deegs, it looks like. I think we saw a bit of a pause coming in because there was a little bit of time here coming into round number 4. SG.PRO, though. Just on the Deagles, sir. Not very much else bought up. First kill comes through. JR going to take down RU Fire with a clean M4 headshot, I would imagine. He gets another, in fact. Kalinka going to drop for the side of HELLRAISERS, but it is looking good, of course. We're not missing too much of the action. It's just an anti-eco situation.
Yeah, good to know we haven't missed much. Things to keep your eyes on and things for you to consider. The economy gain. The CT side is getting very rich, and at any moment when something goes wrong, they have the bank to go into that double up. I don't know if that's something they run, Scriv, or if you've seen HELLRAISERS do it before, but it's certainly something they could break out, especially on their map pick like Dust 2.
All right, see what the choice is. I suppose they're going to go for the 1, right? But like, I think at this point it's a little difficult to get ahead of yourself in that sense. Hopefully we should be back in soon. Okay. Oh, hey, we back into the first gun round as well. Here we go, the AWP of Dire, in fact. I think he's bought it up, and yeah, they just went based off of the spawn. He'll swap that back across. Let me know when you're back in, my guy.
Oh, we're good.
All right, let's get it. Okay, cool. Big chunk damage onto RU Fire, but not very much happening in the early stages of this round. I spoke too soon, of course. RU Fire going to fall to JR. Will be HELLRAISERS in with an advantage. SG.PRO have actually managed to get a round back on the board, it appears. Looking pretty damn good here. J-Lam in with the double spray down, but it's not quite enough. 3 versus 2. The B bomb site vulnerable here, Keith. This could be huge.
Yeah, they're gonna get great timing, but look at the doors problem. Cannot find a headshot to save his life there. It literally would have saved his life. Most literally. And now, SG.PRO with no utility. I'm curious if they're gonna push out Scriv. Are they gonna look for a fight? Are they gonna tuck in? Dire. Back car position. In towards the single box. Generator is gonna be looking for that fight. Finds the head of JR. Leaves it all on Flarich. Quiet thus far, and he will remain silent. A snappy quick headshot from Cineroar. He is continuing his performance from Train over to Dust 2. Top fragging alongside with Keys, and they'll grab the op, and they have just done it. 2 rounds in a row, SG.PRO, and they have made sure HELLRAISERS Bank have felt that blow. And I think HELLRAISERS are taking a pause to consider their options. Do we go for the buy? It's going to be some pistols. Also, how are we going to handle SG.PRO? Because they're getting a little aggressive. They're getting a little wild towards mid and out trading us.
Yeah, they're finding their groove in these past couple rounds, it looks like, right? And really bringing their A game. And this is going to be kind of hard, right? This is where 4s fell. This is where teams have struggled against them in the past. When the super aggressive, in-your-face kind of style begins and turns successful, a lot of teams struggle to pull it back. So far we have seen, or at the very least, you know, struggle to take things cleanly. It does seem to come awfully close, as you mentioned, time after time after time. A lot of their games come as close as damn it. So we'll see here with the weaker buy, can the CTs get it done? Kalinka gonna fall early on, Jalen good for 1. Flarich flash off the angle, so the A-bomb site looks to fall here. The question is, how many casualties will there be? The answer so far is 3, but JR, he's got other things to say with the Deagle. Only good for 1, however, so not going to be enough to make much of a difference. It looks like SG.PRO will weather this storm and get themselves a really good chance at actually definitely evening things up, I would say, because the next round should be an eco from HELLRAISERS, but maybe even a chance to take the lead, because that HELLRAISERS economy, as we say, time after time after time, is going to be in a tough, tough spot.
That is perhaps the most true statement I've heard all day.
Wow.
SG.PRO, I don't know how many rounds is required for them on this T side of Dust 2. I still feel, even with the changes on the door, I think at the top echelon of Counter-Strike, by the way, while I'm talking about Counter-Strike, Hellcase, why not, Scriv? They have unreal cases. It's obviously a case opening website, but almost 100 cases, updated case battle, upgrader, dozens of giveaways per month, and absolutely unreal unique features. Check it out. Malta V15 is the code for a 15% refill bonus, Script. As we have action. The Hero M4 does get a kill, but in a very quick, typical SG fashion, there's another 5 towards long, and Kai Keys quick peek with the 1. The M4 I thought would have lined up too. But damage, I think it might be enough for Flarich to get 1 here on the site. Tapping away with the P250. Ooh, just can't find the head of fame. And he won't. Kalinka into this CT smoke. Generator on car. How does Kalinka clear this? The peek, the taps, it's just oh so easy. SG, they may lose 3 members, Scriv, but on the T side, it's obviously cheaper to buy, and they'll take any round they can get. And to continue my thought, I believe the top echelon of Counter-Strike, Dust 2 has become CT-sided. Why? CT op angles are really, really strong and take a lot of utility to flush them off, very similar to Inferno. The door flip makes holding B and mid way easier. Ton more setups are available now for those players. But I think at this level, still T-sided Scriv. That's my feeling.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, HELLRAISERS trying to prove you wrong, though, mate. JR going to open up with the AWP. Dire trading 1 back. Crazy aggression, start of the round. SG.PRO and their favorite combo. No, what's that, though? What is that from JR? He's going to keep on fragging 1 through the smoke. He's been looking for another as JR is just unstoppable. Stand strong at middle. Sinator going to be the only one left, but an absolute mess from SG.PRO. Oh, my goodness. Sticking out through the doors, right? That's the first mistake. The bomb leading the way. That's a big no-no. And then, of course, you know, JR on the AWP. You got to flash him off, find a trade. I suppose that's a little harder to do, but still. 13 kills so far, by the way, 10 rounds in, and he's on a mad one. And this is exactly, I think, what HELLRAISERS needed, is their AWPer to pop the hell off here on Dust 2.
Well, oh well, a match has formed on Dust 2. A game of wit, aim, and mid-round calls. HELLRAISERS having good breaks so far. I don't mind their setups, but they're going to continue to run this one, I think, pretty consistently. I thought it was something they would shift off of if punished, but SG.PRO haven't done much punishing. They haven't been able to figure out that they're playing 1 mid, 2 B. Very surprising. The typical setup's 1 B, 1 mid, supporting that long, fighting for catwalk right, and having that rotator in CT. HELLRAISERS have a different idea. Flaring, just Flash is going to completely catch everyone from SG.PRO. It'll be met now with a follow-up smoke. They have bomb control. Kalinka in middle is going to get involved and try to help out. And Flarich perhaps spamming a smoke. Maybe it was downfall, but he has the flashes. He'll pop a reload. Even has the op still posted alongside him. And as this smoke fades, Flarich will go. Dire gets caught. And there is the push from Salem in mid. Incinerator not a chance long range to Lil. HELLRAISERS, honestly, although I'm critical of their setup, I think it's easily punished from cat splits and long hits from SG.PRO. They haven't figured it out yet. And I think Incinerator might kindly let his teammates know long is free late round. They can't hold it with these two players. I think they're going to figure out this setup. Can't punishing them this round, of course, they have to save. And it might be too little too late. I think it took too long for SG.PRO to kind of figure out HELLRAISER's sort of comfort. That's just what my brain's telling me. But I'm wrong a lot of the time.
I think so. I feel like the T side is where they need to find some of their strength. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. The CT side's been pretty damn good across the board, but this is just, yeah, very messy. I mean, kind of to be expected in a round like this, but no return on the investment at all. Just absolute demolition through the mid doors. SG.PRO, I mean, they look good for a little while, but they've hit a solid brick wall here. But we'll see. Maybe they can turn things around. I don't know, man. HELLRAISERS are playing so well, and this mid setup is pretty much unstoppable. They just cannot get through it at all. JR continues to frag out of his mind. You know, and his partner, Kalinka, is not too far behind. Not crazy, but is definitely helping out. And those kind of unseen moments and whatnot, obviously the flash assists and things like that are not necessarily shown on the scoreboard. So that's certainly going to have made a difference. We do have applause coming in. Seems to be more technical in nature. Hopefully should be getting back into the action soon. What needs to change here from SG.PRO? I feel like maybe stop whacking their head against the wall, give something a bit of a like a different area of the map a go rather than the mid doors. I'm not sure if you feel the same, but I think maybe a short push or a B rush. I'd be down for a B rush for this team.
I think a big staple, I mean, B rushes aren't awful. I think if you set the pattern of B rushes on your ecos and a couple rifles here and there, it'll make HELLRAISERS continue the setup. I think what SG.PRO really need to do is just a cat split. A lot of teams have that strong cat execute with the lurker long. It would work beautiful against a setup from HELLRAISERS. They don't have support. They're either together or they're not. And it might be the prime situation, right? Like, HELLRAISERS should not be able to get long with one person. Flarich should be punished here. If he gets 2 kills, it's absurd. 1, can't get the second. That's good spacing from SG.PRO. JR posted with the up, and that is 0-2 free. 0-2 free? Oh, so free. And he's going to go up for more, looking to continue this. Just missing. And it is just all HELLRAISERS in the kill feed. I think the long control is nice, but it needs more oomph to it. They need to be peeking together with utility. They gave JR too many 1v1s. Again, a staple of Dust 2 is a default that a lot of teams run. 1 outside long B, op holding mid, 3 go lower B tunnels. 1 player will kind of lurk around, throw the lurk smoke in B, apply some pressure, and 2 players go lower, hinge smoke, get up cat, fight for cat, which would be a 1v1 against HELLRAISERS in their current setup. And then you cat execute. It's hard to hold on to cat executes. They typically guarantee sight. It's just SG.PRO seemingly not having that in their repertoire right now, Scriv. I could be overcritical. That is a possibility. But this round they have the opening pick. A quick mid hit. Not against this either. They have these CTs very split. And they're really hoping for another 1v1. And there you have it. It would have come in the form of Jalen, but he sprays him down. The transfer is great. And JR with his op not flashed off. He can just hold elbow all day long. Ooh, how'd that not kill?
Little unlucky. Concrete wall do be thick sometimes. Attempt at a jump shot here from Jalen. Bomb going down is a pretty decent result for SG.PRO in a round like this, to be fair to them. And that kind of minimal damage of a couple players. So not bad at all in that sense. But HELLRAISERS still going to be happy, right? 9th on the board, really expanding the lead here. Looking good, feeling good. Hopefully this continues for them on their map pick, as we do kind of worry for them a little bit over on Mirage, in all honesty. But SG.PRO looking a little flat. Maybe HELLRAISERS have got the solid read onto them and really getting the better of them, which again could impact into Mirage. It's not like HELLRAISERS are completely foreign to that map. It's just not that solid for them.
Yeah, I think a 5th round is hopeful. It would set them up so the pistol doesn't determine their fate. Are you fire? Making it all too easy for JR there. New on the opping roll, but even a new opper would hit that. And here comes the mid to B split with one player coming through tunnels. Utility aplenty from HELLRAISERS to lock this out. That smoke door really isolates them. Flarich with a risk being made, and Problem. Great flashes from his teammates, cutting them down, bomb down, Fame alone in through the B tunnels. And it's Problem to just re-peek. 2 from JR, 2 from Problem, and HELLRAISERS, the rotates, utility usage. It's all just one step above SG.PRO's.
Yeah, really not looking good. They're just kind of a shadow of themselves, to be honest, from previous games that we've seen of them. Maybe the Dust 2, kind of their kryptonite. Maybe it's HELLRAISERS. We'll see how things develop across the course of the series. Maybe things pick up on the CT side, which I'm kind of expecting. I think we have seen some slightly better CT sides, but SG.PRO just do not seem to have a T side prepared for this. Dust 2, it's very simple in terms of the executes, and we've seen very little of that from SG.PRO. Just running in, taking fights, and HELLRAISERS far too prepared for that, and also have some of their individuals really popping off. However, we have seen a bit of a creep in coming here from RU Fire. 2-man advantage right now for SG.PRO. The 5th round looking a little more doable. But we'll see. 5-on-3 as the bomb goes down. The retake is on. Bit of a straggler out towards the back end. Fame will find Kalinka. It's all onto Problem. Can't get it done. And they recover it back as best they can. 5 rounds on the T side is not ideal, but we'll see. Like I say, that CT side, for me, I think is where SG.PRO are going to look a little better. And we'll see if that's the case as things turn over.
Yeah, I think it's going to kind of be like the train effect for them. Once the op from Kynes can just hold an angle, not have to be the aggressor. And look at the odds. Look at the shift, Scriv. Does that surprise you at all? And before I get your opinion, I want everyone to scroll down a little bit. See the banner from LoopBet, one of our partners. Click it. Get involved. They're a hell of a company and really awesome to work with, Scriv.
Yeah, indeed. Indeed. Would not be possible without them. RU Fire. Big goosh coming in onto him. Sinator, though, holding at the car. Will find the first frag onto Kalinka. Love to see that. It's a bit of pressure eased for SG.PRO, as they will indeed find themselves an early opener to work with. Need to hold on to that. Pretty important that they do. This is their chance. I think it goes without saying in a situation like this, a scoreline like this, the pistol is pretty much required. They're looking good here. If they can hold on. Ooh, RU Fire. Ooh. Certainly playing with fire as he peeks into lower tunnels there. Thankfully, the timing kind of works for him, and he's not going to get taken down. Bit of utility here for HELLRAISERS. See what they can do with it.
Oh, Keys, that was huge for him to stay alive. Senator with the best pistol in the game. The P2000 trying his darndest. As Problem gets out towards mid, he has just quickly figured out that there's a player CT and the B rotator. And now JR all by his lonesome. Incinerator's not having any of this long hit. 4 kills from him. Look how rich he is. That's a full M4 buy with head armor and everything. And he buys an MP9. I mean, it is dust too, after all. I would have preferred the M4 full buy, but hey.
I don't know, mate. It seems a bit mental to me.
It is a little wild, especially if you get 4 kills on pistol. Do you really need more money? You can afford the M4, head armor. You're not going to get rushed down. Yeah, mixed feelings about it. But that's just me, Scriv.
He's getting that bag, bro, as the saying goes at the moment. He is after it big time.
Mm-hmm. He wants that yeet.
Indeed. But I do kind of worry for the fact that they have 3 SMGs and a scout here. Not in this round. More so into the next, when it's like, hey guys, let's go for that bonus buy. And then, you know, HELLRAISERS immediately straight back in with a round, and any semblance of a chance kind of falls with the questionable buys. Oh, maybe in this round, you know, JR just can't miss. Oh god. Oh god, please. Oh no. Okay, I thought Jalen was even gonna knife him. Doesn't want his kill stolen away though. I think they're gonna lose it, mate. 4 versus 2. They're split across the map here. The M4 recovered. Kalinka's got control on the B-bomb site. Oh, it's not looking too good. It's not looking too good at all. I feel like Shoy's gonna maybe spot and see, okay, we got a smoke, we got a bit of utility here, but he's just not gonna be ready for the player in on the site. Also, the rotation from RU Fire is not coming in yet. They're not committing to it. They're very unsure, and they think it might be a bit of a fake, actually, as he clears out middle. We'll find another frag. More smokes on the B-bomb side, kind of giving the game away, but surely as the bomb goes down, with no offensive utility left, it's not really going to be doable. These bullets are so very close, but not really landing onto JR. He's hidden in behind the double stack, of course, so he's all good. It's certainly doable here, but it is going to be tough. It is going to be tough. JR watching window. RU Fire's just got to fly in here. Can't really put a foot around it. You've got to go for it, and Kalinka with the wide swing takes his head clean off. There you go. There goes that. And HELLRAISERS will win the 4th buy. I was talking as though SG.PRO had that, but not to be the case. HELLRAISERS just looking so good right now.
Run, Dire! Don't fight, run! As we've mentioned before, it is more beneficial for you to lose the pistol and win the following than it is to win the pistol at times. And it's going to set HELLRAISERS up beautifully. SG.PRO have a big decision to make, right? Are we forcing back around this M4? They're going to do it. This is a really risky call. I think maybe the round count is something that leans into this decision for them. And the fact that Incinerator still had some money left to get armor and a scout on top of RU Fires. Risky. But it can pay off. These AKs, if they're given a good chance, will be deadly. The nades, I'm surprised they didn't go do more damage onto Fame. Okay, but Keys doesn't need a scout. The main op, and he's just given a Deeg script. Told to peek.
They nasty with it right now. Need a few more of those, though, I think. Maybe just 1 or 2. Oh. Unlucky. Unlucky. Few too many refaces coming in from Keys. He will get taken down. And things are even back up here. Slow but sure. HELLRAISERS. Ooh, maybe gonna walk into the trap here, Keith. Bit more of a B stack. They've got all this pressure at long, right? So they feel confident to set up heavily on the B bomb site. A few moments, the utility will come in at the very least, and HELLRAISERS look set to follow up on it. Fame on high, the M4 here as well. Fame not able to find anything. Jerry gonna have to go huge. His teammates have fallen far too easily, and he will be burnt out. He will be fragged out. So HELLRAISERS, seemingly nothing can stop them. As RU Fire gets his hands onto an AK, what's the plan here? Gonna save it? Gonna go for it? I think I know what the answer is. Looking at the type of player that he is, the type of team that SG.PRO are.
Yep.
Oh, and if he keeps landing shots like that.
The door smoke is faded. He's looking for a second fight, and JR is just slightly off kilter to what RU Fire was expecting in that fight. 12 for HELLRAISERS. Save from SG.PRO required, which is going to get HELLRAISERS up to 13. Are they... What? Well, I'm just trying to think loss bonus. I think they're only going to get $2,900. I don't think they're on max yet. So back-to-back forces. Again, a confusing economy situation. They don't want to allow HELLRAISERS to get too far ahead because they know their money's low to boot. I don't know. I would have preferred just pistols and a complete full competent buy next round, but I've been proven wrong before. Keys with the scout. Does Problem now realize it's a force? They'll peek into the posted scout, still somehow able to get away with 2. And SG.PRO are doing it, I guess, to a testament of HELLRAISERS not being prepared for these pistols to have armor. Incinerator with the AK, bomb control. I mean, Keys only needs a tag and he'll get a headshot. I mean, look, doesn't make the buy a good buy. I'm just gonna say this now. Doesn't mean that buy was good or wise. They win the round, but it doesn't justify the means, Griff.
True. As the big man Carl would say, you know. Do the means justify the ends. Ooh. Almost. Close. Certainly a chance here for SG.PRO to break this economy. A pretty important round to be getting. Same kind of deal for HELLRAISERS though, but you know, obviously they've got quite a good lead to work with and whatnot. SG.PRO not so much, so they really do need to get this one on the board. Keep the fight, keep the pressure on. Not an awful lot happening so far. That is a big nade onto Problem. So I suppose the chip damage is good, but JR, of course, cannot miss this game, so it seems. Need to be careful not to throw any more frags the way of HELLRAISERS. The opening pick going their way is massive. The flash comes in. RU Fire not able to capitalize off of it. He wants them to swing into him. He's going to try and move into them, but there's no one around as yet. Meanwhile, on the A site, Sinator is essentially by himself. A well-placed Molotov, but of course, they don't have one on the HELLRAISERS side, so a great spot for him to be in.
Well, Flare Edge with the fiery deagle as they'll come up catwalk. From Goose, flashed out, only one, good punish. Fame could be in a one and done here. If he can win the fight, he will. Does he get traded? How is Fame allowed to do this? Low on HP. And Kalinka doesn't want to chase because he's unsure where the second CT player is. And here comes Dyrake. Flarich running down long to try to get here in a timely manner. He could catch them boosting. Flarich, the Eagle can't find a single shot. HELLRAISERS, how do you fumble that round? That seemed like a home run. It seemed like a touchdown. And it's error after error after error. SG.PRO. From a force buy that shouldn't have amounted to nothing to getting the close round back. I mean, sometimes you're lucky, and they're lucky.
Pretty nice stuff, dude. Pretty nice stuff. See whether they keep it going here. On the SG.PRO side of things, it is still going to be an uphill battle. The bomb plant going to facilitate a buy for HELLRAISERS, although not ideal. Certainly keeping the pressure on the CT side, keeping things close. Their economy also not great, right? So it's a real key turning point here that HELLRAISERS could deny and maybe even win the game off the back of if they can steal this round away. That is always easier said than done. Gotta respect the Deegs, but surely SG.PRO do the position that they're in right now. As kind of highlighted before, their CT side seems to be a little stronger, but then maybe, yeah, going for these aggressive plays that cost them against Fours earlier on. Did eventually recover it back, but HELLRAISERS at the moment not allowing them the same kind of room, not making as many mistakes. You really do need to be careful with these aggressive swings by yourself with no utility, right? It is difficult. There you go. There's the swing from Fame. We'll take down JR. Missed shot from JR, and that's a pretty big name to be taking, actually. So a nice opener for SG.PRO. 45 seconds left. HELLRAISERS, how do you answer back?
Well, maybe it comes from problem towards Catwalk. Link up. There's a player close double doors. Senator, hold the door, trying to bait Fame a wee bit. He doesn't even need the help. SG.PRO, this should be, in quotations, a comfortable night. The force buy works. They string a couple rounds together. It could be 3 in a row. And the problem's Deagle. Can crack open the site more. And Flarich, Jalem, they're weak. They're surrounded, and they will fall. 4 alive for the CT side. They're getting that HELLRAISERS luck, that HELLRAISERS economy boost. And they're looking to run away with it. HELLRAISERS, no plant. Loss bonus not quite built up enough. That's going to result in them having the save scriv, which means SG.PRO to 10. And they're going to be fighting for 11 with Omps. Perhaps even a double if they want. Yeah, I'm all for this turnaround, actually. I'm on board. It was questionable how it happened, but now that it's happened and we're moving forward, I'm with it.
SG.PRO. On the come up, on the turnaround. Got a new flex, feeling good. See whether it continues though, right? Pause coming in, HELLRAISERS trying to work things out for the next rifle round. Desperately need to. So it is really starting to run away from them here. Into this round though, not expecting too much. Love the nades, see if they can catch someone off guard on the B-bomb site. Not gonna happen. Not a single point of damage done with them. But, you know, we like the idea, right? It's like, okay, if there's a guy trying to hold the angle, maybe face-checking things, but not the case, so. Bit of a waste of cash, but it's all good. No harm, no foul. Tech 9, P250 and a Deeg. That's it. So a little bit of investment here from some of the richer players. Might be able to find something. Bit of a bait and switch there at middle for Senator, trying to catch him off guard. Not going to happen. Oh, yeah, it is. JLam catches him while he's jumping across, going for the open spot. What more can they find off the back of this, though? You need to be careful here, Keys, as the Deeg shot comes in from Flarich. Peeking out together, this is pretty clean stuff from HELLRAISERS. If they had a bit of armor or a tiny bit more utility, you start to feel good for them. But 2 kills and a bomb plant with, what, maybe $2,000 spent across the board, a little bit more than that perhaps. Pretty decent turn of events. That's an awkward fight. RU Fire does win it in the end. SG.PRO get their 10th, but HELLRAISERS still keeping the pressure on. Knocking on that door every single round. They're not like bowing out of any of these rounds, really.
Up for JR, Fame, and Keys. We mentioned perhaps the double up will come into play. It's something SG.PRO have run time to time. Will it come out on their CT Dust 2 side? And it will strip. Will be lacking a bit of utility, but they're going to break it out. And look how quick this round is for HELLRAISERS. And they win the fight. I can't believe Flarich won that fight against Generator. I can't even believe that's a fight to begin with. Man, HELLRAISERS now can afford to slow things down towards mid. They have an understanding that they're playing long heavy, which means that Can Explode is prime. Chef's kiss almost. But Sky pushes Cat. Does he get 1 or 2? No, he's only able to get 1. HELLRAISERS continue with the man advantage. Look for them to group and execute within the next 30 seconds.
Quite grouping up just yet, Keith. Still split across the map. Looks like they're set to hit the A-bomb site here. 2 CTs waiting. 35 seconds thereabouts. Smokes coming over the top. The dribble smokes, as they are called. Nice and deep here, actually. Maybe one of them failed. I'm not quite sure whether that was intentional. We'll see how things turn out. Great Molotovs coming in. They will be kept at bay. The bomb will be dropped. The rotation surely has to come in. Dire standing strong on the ramp as well. Nice and passive from him, but Flarich strikes from long. That is the difference maker. Fame has to clutch this out for SG.PRO. It's so damn close. Bomb will be planted just in the nick of time. He's going to try and move in from short here, swapping across to the AK. The information that they are low comes in, and they are goddamn low here. Not taking any aggressive angles. Jalen going to peek up. There goes his head. Flarich, 17 HP, holding from long. Time ticking down. He does have a kit available. Flarich, though, got 3 already, looking for the 4th. It's hunted for him. He peeks up. And this is going to be really hard, right? Not just in the sense that, you know, you've got to find the shot or whatever, but he can see when you're not on that bomb pretty easily. Oh, Flarich, what? My God, he misses so many shots, but just gets it over the line. I wasn't sure for a second there who'd won it out. That must have been so close. Oh, my God.
Wow. Well attempted by Fame. Where are those bullets going? Where are they going? Oh my goodness. Okay. Whew, deep breaths from the SG.PRO side. You're not out of this one yet. Here come Hellraisers towards long, just like the previous round. Kalinka in pit. Keys in towards mid, and I like this from SG.PRO. They are isolating, they are cutting off rotates, and they're doing it swiftly. RU Fire is going to need some help, though. If Keys falls off, he has to do the same. Now I'm worried. Flash over to allow Keys to peek deep in towards long. He'll be looking into pit. That is JR. Looking for the exact same fight. And unless there's another bit of utility, JR has all the advantage into this one. There's the flash. Just a missed shot from JR. Keys is not going to stay posted. And look for Hellraisers to back out. They have the op in the pit. They can leave him there for at least 20 to 30 seconds longer. And Hellraisers, they're going to hit the reset button. They're creeping. RU Fire, he doesn't call that he hears any sound cues or see anything. How long do SG.PRO keep numbers towards A-Script? That's the burning question.
And they have a lot here, right? Their B-bomb site is vulnerable. Oh, and the fake is working. It really is. Man, not going to lose any players either. Oh, problems tagged down pretty low. There you go. They do eventually manage to find a frag. Direct standing strong at car, only good for 1. Sees the bomb. They do have a man advantage here, and JR looks away at the wrong time. Could have had a frag there. Trying to catch them on the cross. Does get 1, evening things back up, but a very, 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 very quick rotate in coming through from RU Fire. Needs to be careful not to go down. Flarich will track him. That makes all the difference. It's directly a 2v2 on the site, to be fair, because JR taking his sweet time getting here, but they have got enough utility to keep them at bay. 14th round will come in, and JR might even be able to get some on the backside. They hear him at the very last second. Sinator 1 versus 3. Not looking good. No kit available. Just trying to survive here, if anything. They will peek out into him, and they will eliminate him. Beautiful stuff from Hellraisers, as they seem to have done enough here to turn things around. That super, super close clutch has paid dividends. They'll pick up a 14th. They'll break the economy of SG.PRO, and it looks like we're going to be needing an overtime from the CT side to keep them alive here on Dust 2.
Whew. Not doing a typical SG.PRO force, are they? They're allowing, as you said, that OT number to be put on the board. That 15. And Kalinka out towards long. He'll be met with 3 players. Can they find some good fights for these USPs? No, they are just going to get mopped up like a mess on the floor. Cleaned up with a little bit of soap and hot water from Hellraisers. JR tagging up Dire. And Flair wants to fight towards him, and he will get it. 15 for Hellraisers on their map pick. They have turned this ship around. It was sailing to the rocks, but they managed to anchor out and spin it around, Scriv, at favorable moments. Because, let's be honest, it was looking dire at at least 3 rounds ago, maybe even 4. It was feeling they're in dangerous waters, but hey, their map pick, their T side, they've turned it around very nicely.
Yeah, massively so. So looking good. Gonna pick up their own map pick going into Mirage. They're looking pretty spicy as well. If JR can hit this kind of level, Flaric not too far behind as well. You know, some really strong looking individuals right now for HELLRAISERS. It could be worrying for SG.PRO in the grand scheme of things. Flash through the smoke. Dire looking to be the hero. He can't find a single frag. That's got to soak. Meanwhile, Are You Fire on the other side of things gonna fall flat. 4 versus 3. 4 versus 2. Not looking doable here at all. He's the only one left. Does find a couple. Okay. This is a bit spicy here. Problem on 7 HP. You never know. Might be able to keep them alive a little while longer. Would be the hero clutch coming in. Not gonna happen though.
Yeah.
And that will be all she wrote. 16 to 10 on HELLRAISERS map pick, sorry. Looking very, very good indeed. And I'm kind of worried for SG.PRO. Some really, really strong moments coming in there from HELLRAISERS.
Yeah, they looked really good. There was moments there from SG.PRO that I think were kind of just like SG.PRO moments, right? Where their force buys were able to find success. They're able to just be very scrappy in their rounds. And I guess HELLRAISERS just really weren't prepared for a lot of that in a lot of ways. But they stuck to their game plan. I'm very surprised, may I add, that SG.PRO did not figure out on their T side the HELLRAISERS setup. It had some glaring gaps, and they were kind of almost baiting SG.PRO into going for the catwalk aggression before they wanted to make any changes. And they were just so sitting pretty with 2 on B, 1 in mid. Not once did really the B site falter for HELLRAISERS. Once SG.PRO started like fighting long, HELLRAISERS threw an extra man there. I feel like SG.PRO had a really big opportunity early on that T side around round 6, 7. If they could have figured out the setup, which they weren't hiding it. They were being very obvious about it, and setting into those cat executes in late lurk long could have worked out beautiful for them, or even take long, take cat after. There was a lot of prime opportunities that were just missed there, unfortunately.
Yeah, I definitely think they're not as comfortable as they'd like to be on Dust 2. Certainly saw a lot of that in the first half, those very simple executes. Although, to be fair to them, HELLRAISERS also not going for it as much. Seem to kind of beat them out of their own game, and that's totally fair, right? Jalem, JR, Flaric, all having an incredible first map, and they can tap into that on Mirage. It's going to be very, very difficult to get through. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, although they get 10 rounds, there's no one really playing insanely well. We've got JR with 112 ADR, which is nuts, considering, you know, it's a 26-round game. It's not like it's a super long game there. So really, really well done individually from HELLRAISERS. And again, we go into Mirage, also an individually based map, not quite to the same level, but you can have, you know, certain couple players, 2 or 3 players take over a game. So it is a little worrying for SG.PRO in that sense. But I'd hope they'd be a bit more comfortable, a little more familiar with things. I think as lone players, obviously they're going to be comfortable with Dust 2 from like a pugging standpoint, but as a team, they really didn't seem to have very much prepared, particularly on that T side, like I say. So Mirage, I don't think going to have that same issue for them. We have seen them look pretty good on it yesterday. Against Simon, did end up losing it out, but again, it's that 16-14, few decisions here and there. But HELLRAISERS, like I say, oh, man, 3 individuals playing so well. The odds that one of those comes into Mirage with the same level is pretty high, to be honest, because that's more than half your team stepping up.
Oh, well, I'm really excited for Mirage. I can't wait to see it, but it does require us to take a short break. When we come back, SG.PRO's map pick and Mirage. Will they be back? Are they going to turn pro again? We'll see. Hang on. And we're back as the good weather continues, and so does the Counter-Strike Scriv. I could not be more excited for Mirage. And keep in mind, Malta Vibes is brought to you by Gaming Malta, a home of gaming excellence. And Scriv, we just witnessed excellence on the side of HELLRAISERS. Managed their CT side nicely. Their T side was perfect. Now we get to jump into Mirage. Bit more of a scrappy map, and I think it might favor SG if they come to life.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's part of what we were missing a little bit is those heavy fragging individuals that we have come to know not really doing so well. You know, other than Kalinka, everybody on that SG.PRO side rated below everybody else on the HELLRAISERS side of things, and Kalinka does play that more supportive element, so kind of to be expected. But yeah, there was no answer back to the JR show. Right, he was having a hell of a great time, but also a lot of support coming in from a couple other individuals, as we were touching on after that first map. Yeah, so I think waking up is definitely, like you say, kind of a win condition here for SG.PRO. May well have met their match, so to speak, in a heavier sense. Right, they've come close against a lot of people, but HELLRAISERS, that looked a little more comprehensive. It's not as close. It's not as if only you know they'd have won that clutch, or if only they hadn't have decided to force buy here. There was a bit more to it than that from HELLRAISERS. So really looking good. But that is their map pick. You know, it is Dust 2. It's a pretty solid map for HELLRAISERS. They play it an awful lot. SG.PRO, not so much, not as much experience on it. Meanwhile, Mirage, a lot more solid for SG.PRO, and HELLRAISERS not so much. But we have said, you know, those individuals looking so good, and I think because there are so many of them looking good, it could be hard for SG.PRO here. They're not only going to need the likes of, you know, Keys to step up again, or Sinator as he so often does. They're kind of going to need 2 or 3 of them to really come alive to match HELLRAISERS pound for pound individually.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the stats from Dust 2. JR 25 and 12, Flarich 22 and 15, kind of both players we highlighted. And then out of nowhere, Jalen 26 and 14. He put on a show at 93 ADR, 1.36 rating. JR had a 1.74 rating. And what is more important, I think, outside of the kills and the ADR, is the KSAT. If you don't know what KSAT is, it's a percentage of rounds in which the player either had a kill, got an assist, survived, or was traded. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means one of 2 things. A, their CT side setups are really, really good at having crossfires and trading out immediately. It also means their T side had great spacing, and they're able to get their entry fraggers in and then immediately react on their information gathered or their opening frag. That was just prime stats from HELLRAISERS. If you can shoot above a 70 KSAT, you're doing everything right. And so far, HELLRAISERS are. Mirage, a map where I think JR, honestly, might be really comfortable on with an op. It's not a difficult map. It's been in the pool for so long, and it hasn't changed. I think I'm going to keep my eye on JR again, continue to see if he's going to be aggressive, be assertive, rotate around the map. There's tons and tons of possibilities for operators, from CT to pushing a ramp. You can do the MIBR setup and ramp. You can post into connector. You can go pick a op, work a pick B. Very similar to Dust 2. You can almost draw very similar comparisons in the opping prowess and how flexible you can be with it. But more so, I think, than Dust 2, Scriv.
Yeah, I think so, right? It's really going to play a bigger part here. Something as well that maybe we didn't see as much from both sides. We did see it a little bit, I think, from SG.PRO, but the double up setup, right, is smashing it here. Hopefully HELLRAISERS, so we'll see. We'll see. I feel like Mirage, it's not a great map for them historically, but within the matchup, they're looking like the stronger side right now, and we are missing a little bit of the SG.PRO magic. So I don't know. I think it's going to be hard for them. I feel like SG.PRO a bit more confident, a little bit more cool, calm, and collected coming into this one, right? They just looked very, very lost on Dust 2 in places, and a slow start from them on both halves. But coming into this, you would expect them to have a more solid game plan, and hopefully that translates through with a victory.
Well, here we go to Knife Round, Scriv. The part we've been waiting for. I think SG.PRO really do want to start on this CT side of their pick, and it's not going to happen. HELLRAISERS can jump right into their CT side. We know how good they are on their CT sides, and with JR perhaps heating up, it's not a strong feeling I have for SG.PRO, who, yeah, tossed on the T side, Scriv. Does it change your feelings on this map, or is it summarized still nicely? I think it emphasizes maybe SG.PRO wanting to come out swinging.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely can't come out flat-footed here. Got to be prepared. Got to be ready. Need to be aggressive. But that certainly does seem to be easier said than done. Their T-side was so very weak on Dust 2. Like I say, they should be a bit more comfortable here, a bit more prepared, and indeed have the executes ready in the back pocket, which they didn't seem to have on Dust 2. So, might not be the same, but I have come to know them to be a little more CT-sided as a squad. Time will tell, however. Oh, and Fame with a nice opener onto Jalen with that P250. Meanwhile, we've got Flarich creeping in. Could drop the bomb. Here he will as well. That puts everything at a stop. However, the P250 from behind. Fame doing all the work so far in this round. Kalinka, meanwhile, on his Julies, holding things down from Van. Not able to find a single frag. So it looks like they're going to take the pistol here. Unless JR's got something to say. Uh-oh, why is the bomb not going B? Hello? Who made this decision? Keith, I'm so confused. Oh no, JR has a great chance to clutch this out. Third coming in into the 1v1.
No.
How has it come to this? He has the drop on Sinator as well. Surely not. Oh god, Sinator wants to go for it. JR wants to go for it. They are missing each other by inches. I think he might just have spotted the side of his head, but 50 seconds left again. With that bomb being down in the hands of JR, this is looking good for the lone CT.
They run back without having mid control. JR, that's the sound cue. He has a head angle here, and he'll tap it away. JR with 4. SG.PRO assumed that JR would be in market. They thought he would have rotated appropriately, but he goes catwalk. And the reason they ran underpass is because they were gambling that both players would have just rotated B. And JR did not. He makes it look so clean, and that one's going to sting. That is one that's going to linger in your mind, and it is going to tilt you. There's no amount of coaching or talking that's going to relax you after that one, Scriv.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like I got to go. You know, I feel like I'm done after watching that. So you really have to feel for SG.PRO. Because it's not just, right, that you lose the round. That sucks, yeah. It's just you make the wrong call. This guy 1v4s. There's a lot that goes wrong that you can kind of look internally and blame yourself. As a squad, anyway. Fame does get a couple on the dig, but ultimately nothing coming. Will be that second round pretty cleanly on the board for HELLRAISERS. They half bought into that round on the SG.PRO side of things, looking to get the AKs out as early as possible. Fame can afford an AWP, maybe contemplating it. Not going to go for it in the end. Pretty comprehensive buy coming in from the T side here. The CT's also pretty clean. Have enough utility to fend back. The FAMAS and the MP9. 2 FAMASs actually coming into play here. No AWP, but that's fair. I mean, it's the 3rd round. They don't really have the cash. And we'll see here. JR with a bit of early damage onto RU fire. So again, not the best way to start the round out. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
It is a slaughter. Kalinka with a monster 3. And that setup from HELLRAISERS, right? It's kind of like, it's what they do with almost like racing dogs, right? You give a distraction, and they focus so much on that distraction, and then you get them from somewhere else. Like another distraction from the crowd. The reference I'm making is very niche, so maybe not a lot of people get it. But anyway, point is, they had them looking one way, Scriv, and they hit them with the others from the other side with that setup. It's just a perfectly laid CT setup that SG.PRO tried to force their way in, and there's just simply no way to get out once they're already committed. It is just HELLRAISERS sticking to those CT side setups and letting SG.PRO play themselves. Now, I wonder if that's going to continue to be the case. I want to see if the op's going to come out on the side of T's, on the T side, to maybe slow things down and work a pick. But HELLRAISERS don't mind if they have to fight non-stop.
I would like to thank you, though, for pronouncing niche correctly.
Niche?
I know you're not. Yeah, I know you're not American, but a lot of them say niche.
Oh no, that's really weird. It's niche. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, from the same
it's very
sort of
close
area.
to quiche.
Yeah, true.
And quiche is really good. If you don't like quiche, well, why not?
I mean, I'm not crazy about it, but
I mean, it's only good with ketchup. Same with eggs in general.
Interesting.
That's my hot take.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of see that. It's a flavor that works, but again, it's a bit unorthodox, I think. I'm sure you'd admit, to be fair. Ketchup and eggs, a bit unorthodox. Brown sauce over here in the UK, of course. Either way, Jalen going to find the head of Senator early on. Are You Fire will trade him back. It's another crazy round, as you can see the observers all over the place. Who's taking the fights? Who's winning them? What's going on? Don't know. Absolutely mental here on Mirage into round number 5. That's what SG.PRO like, being down and dirty with it. Are You Fire? Quick one onto JR. See you later. Our man advantage. And only one player left directly on the A site. It's a bit of an off angle from Flarich. They keep moving slowly here. I think they'll spot him out, catch him off. Maybe he's sticking out around the corner, and there you go. He goes for a peek, and it costs him his life. Problem coming in. Trying to recover things back. We'll get 1 second. Not going to happen, though. Keys denies it. And Kalinka will be the only one left for HELLRAISERS. So SG.PRO nice and fast over onto A, and then just catching them off guard as, you know, the CTs felt like they had to make a move to find a way back in. And, well, just doesn't happen for them. So unless Kalinka can clutch things out, it should be a first round for SG.PRO.
Whew. There they go. That's the SG.PRO pace. The entries come in. They lock down the site. Kalinka's looking for damage. I felt like that was a headshot just off the mark. And they have to now string a second together because their money will be hurt. They will be limping. And HELLRAISERS will have a confident op buy on JR. M4s for the rest with full utility and kits. Not only once, but maybe even twice, Scriv. So SG.PRO really need this next. And then they know they're going to be going up against another force buy. So they put themselves in a tough spot, but a recoverable spot as HELLRAISERS again contesting middle. SG.PRO love these fights in towards mid and connector. And they're going to give some chase. They're picking up the pace. This player stairs is getting shot in the back there. Has to turn around. Double entries from SG.PRO. This A site still a little stacked, but they're getting caught through smokes. This player's going to jump top stairs. And Jalen wins another fight. That's 3. JR holding connector. Dire will try. But can he find the second? The off angle? Ooh, without any problems. Kalinka in another clutch situation. This one's more doable. But SG.PRO, they are definitely taking risks. And they're lucky that they have players stepping up to the task.
They are lucky indeed. Kalinka. Great timing here. Creeping in, but Keys is too fast for him. Good God, he knew they were over at connector, but just couldn't find it. That could have been absolutely massive if he'd have clutched it out. Not going to be the case, however, and SG.PRO will get their second in a row. One more, and they'll break the bank. They've already kind of done it. Flarich has got very little cash, the utility lacking, but the double up setup is out, Keith. And this is maybe something that SG.PRO won't expect. You know, if they keep trying to keep track of the economy and everything. Surely it's like, okay, yeah, we expect them to have some rifles, but 2 AWPs, one of them glass cannon, that's a little mental. That's a little hard to follow. The mid smoke, the window smoke does fail, so that's never a good sign, but thankfully there's no one around to capitalize on the side of HELLRAISERS. Ooh, JR nearly landing the flick, but not quite.
Ooh, Dire. Into the window he'll go. That's a big one from JR. That's the A ramp pressure. Now SG.PRO really have no legs to stand on towards A. They can't feel confident getting control of jungle and taking A from that. And look at problem. Secondary op. That's the freest kill he's had in a long time, I bet. The double ops will catch SG.PRO off guard. Dire has to break this vent if he wants to rotate. I don't even know if he's going to be able to get 2 towards this A site. JR letting his boys know that connector is getting pressured and pushed. And that jungle is open. And now Senator has gone loud with it. Wanted that 1v1 against Kalinka, but it's not the outcome that he hoped for, Scriv. This round held together by a thread in Dire. But if he pulls on this thread, I don't know if the sweater will stay together.
I feel you on that one, buddy. Nade going in. Jalen gives it a look, and it kind of throws his aim off a little bit, I suppose. He misses the shot. know where he's at the very least, but any more than that, yeah, it's a little difficult. Flaric coming in from Palace, easy frag. Fame to find them all, and he can only get one. So Hellraisers straight back in. This is kind of the issue for SG.PRO with taking so long to get the ball rolling. It's going to be hard for them. They do just about have the money to buy up into round number 8. Still very, very hard here for Hellraisers. Triple up setup. XD, you know, kind of has that feel to it. I don't know. A bit wild. SG.PRO, we'll see. They can't deal with 2 orbs. Can they somehow deal with more? Time will tell.
Yeah, they need... Okay. Hellraisers not liking playing against SG.PRO's style. The response? We're going to play even slower. We're going to hold the most absurd angles. Are they running? Yeah, okay. JLM at least has an M4 towards default. JR... No, it's not even JR CT. It's Flaridge. Man, this setup is out there. Keys, right when he takes that peek in towards Ticket, Flaridge has fallen off. Falled off? Fallen? He has fallen. He's not Brazilian. Are you fire? In through window, being very loud. Elam gets the call that they're up, but he is just swinging a bit too wide for my liking. And Flaridge maybe wishes he had an M4 in that situation. I don't know about the setup from Hellraiser Scriv. I don't know if it was a mistake, an accident, or what. Kalinka needs a kill, and he needs it now, and he can't even buy one if he wanted to. This round should be locked out, and Hellraiser should save. I'm not sure why they're pressing forward here, Scriv. Again, I am an optimist, but even this seems like too much.
Yeah, I think maybe just a bit, maybe just a little bit. Especially SG.PRO, they're really fast. That's how they like to play. T-side Mirage particularly, and I don't know. You can't be missing. 3 of your players just can't afford to miss a shot, really.
Terrorists win.
What we'll see here. Hellraisers lacking in cash. Saved a couple rifles, probably just going to eco around these. Oh, no, never mind. They be going for it. To be sure, though, boys, Hellcase, our primary case partner here. They've got the couple codes, as you can see, along the top. Malta V 15. You get some extra cash, some extra build-up of bonuses, etc. Have a few spins. Get going. Get looking good, just like JR. And you know what they say, skins equals wins. Kalinka coming in with his hot skin, picks up 2, and the 5 on 2. Quickly underway as Hellraisers have absolutely smashed this round. Keys will answer back with 1. Is it going to be enough, though, Keith?
Well, he definitely needs another kill without getting traded. Flaridge is tucked in balcony. He's going to now peek on Kalinka's contact. And Keys will fall. They can rock a double op, sure, as long as they don't go back to the triple. That's where I draw the line. SG.PRO purchasing. It'll be Opless and Opless Keys. Spells a little bit of trouble for me. And this buy screams aggression again from SG.PRO. Not really having a lot of luck towards connector and mid. Because if Hellraisers give it to them, they make sure they get a pick before they back up and scale on out of mid. Same can be said about A almost. Hellraiser's playing a very loose, safe mid-rounding and aggressive early. And what a shot from Fame. It says it wasn't through the smoke, but I think it was. Barely caught the head there of Jalem. And Fame's gonna keep going. He wants to press his luck. Does he get shot from the CT player? He does, but what a shot from Fame. And that could probably be round. If JR doesn't get smoked off and he gets a couple freebies, sure, they can get back in. But that is such a hard task. And with missing the first shot, RU Fire will take it. And Hellraisers have to back out. SG.PRO, that is more in line to what their brand is, Scriv.
Yeah, just a bit. Seems to be working a little better as well in the more recent rounds. Sure, Hellraisers, you know, able to get rounds in there, but SG.PRO seem to be finding a bit of consistency Kalinka gonna fall here as well, surely. Traded back, and maybe the AWP recoverable. Oh, problem, gotta be so careful. Does land the shot, the no-scope, in fact, of the Senator, but takes another face. Ends up going down. I suppose he did need to fight his way out there. SG.PRO on the hunt. Regardless, 6-4, HELLRAISERS, the lead, a little under contention. And as we've said again and again and again, bit of a broken record with it, but this team do need to be strong on their T side, I think. And then they can set themselves up for a really good CT side. SG.PRO certainly looking good at the moment, and it will be a pretty weak buy coming in from HELLRAISERS. Few rifles and whatnot, but mainly pistols. Not a lot of utility. I like this, though. Getting proactive, getting aggressive. Fame. Oh, he's nervous. He's shaking. He's going to lose the fight. Jalen will take him down, not take very much damage for his trouble. He's now upgraded to an AK as well. That is a hell of a kill coming in. Also, the information that there's no one at ramp. Fantastic opener for HELLRAISERS.
I'm continued to be impressed with HELLRAISERS and their due diligence in the opening rounds. And it takes individual effort from SG.PRO to bring it back. Last round was Fame. This time around, it's Keys. The catwalk and B split in full force. Problem. M4 on default. Big kill, but now he knows he's stuck. Trusting JR to be able to bail him out, and he can't. But the problem is isolating more favorable fights. And Kalinka, oh, I thought he beat the timing on Keys, but no. As Flarich will grab an AK. No kit unless there's one towards Cat or on site. And with Keys with the op, he can just post. Dire can trade from Get Right and from Side Bomb. Flarich gonna get peeked. Here's the op scope. He's gotten great timing. I think he might be dead to right so from the op, and there it is. SG.PRO, another player bails them out after getting opening picked on. HELLRAISERS, again, I like their decision making in the opening rounds, but then they overstep. They feed that kill back to SG.PRO. That's been a theme now the last 3-4 rounds.
Yeah, definitely need to rein it in a little bit. I think maybe getting caught up in the SG.PRO-ness of this second map, you know. They love the aggression, they love to get down and dirty, and it's just not quite worked, I think, for HELLRAISERS on their CT side. Not as clean, let's say. Still in the lead, still looking strong, still a chance to pull things back here. But you can definitely see it, you can definitely feel it getting a little bit out of hand in some of the more recent rounds, and it's really giving a chance back to SG.PRO to not only close the gap, but possibly take the lead on the T side of their own map, give themselves a nice, comfortable finish here. And it does indeed look like we're going to have things evened up, because we have the pause, and of course HELLRAISERS just echoing this one out, talking about the rifle rounds. Little bit of an idea coming into this with the stack, but well, I don't know. It's hard to tell whether it's going to be successful or not. SG.PRO playing a pretty simple default.
Pretty simple, pretty safe. Kind of weird to say that in the same sentence while commentating SG.PRO, but it's what they're up to. They are probably going to say, are you fire? Can you go figure out if it's a B stack for us? They've thrown the wall of smokes towards Cat. And it's up to him to really prod and figure out. And they've missed it. But that's all right. Are they going to try to come with Cat now?
Have they? Have they thrown the wall of smokes? Not so hot.
Well, they know it's a stack, and they're still going into it. I mean, it is just USBs and CZs, so at least... Okay, I thought he'd get that flick. I was going to screech. Problem on site will get traded. It's only losing one player. You know what? Even if it was a stack, they at least went together. And we're ready to face it as a team. 6-6. SG.PRO turn around this T side. It's on to HELLRAISERS now in these last few rounds to make adjustments. As previously mentioned, I like their early round. I really appreciate the fights they're trying to take. But then it's sometimes a bit too much. And that's what SG.PRO have been capitalizing on.
Yeah, they get kind of caught up in their own aggression, right? I think. Not knowing when to turn it off. And it has cost them a few rounds. It has given a chance to SG.PRO to get back into it. But here we go. This is the early rounding that we like to see. Problem going to open up and maybe slow things down here. I think he does have JR to help him out this time around. Also getting aggressive in the underpass, seeing that there's no one at all at B, guys. Must be an A hit. Get ready. He's coming in with a super fast flank as well. Did he spot that player? I'm not sure. Dire not going to be able to hear him as well, apparently. Nothing else coming back in for SG.PRO right now. They lose another man as Fame tries to get aggressive. And, I mean, this round is absolutely over unless someone steps up massively. They are not going to expect JR at all. He's not even as huge as perhaps he could have been, but dropping the bomb just makes life so difficult for RU Fire. It's going to lose the fight as well. So the 7th round coming in for HELLRAISERS. They will regain their lead. Beautiful stuff. And the AK retrieved. Hell yeah. JR absolutely loving it. Those updates to the E grab certainly working for him. And every little helps, you know, the one-tap potential and whatnot. But yeah. 7-6. HELLRAISERS regain the lead, and they look set to maybe even get a few more going. Not out of the woods yet, though. Another buy coming in for SG.PRO. But if they lose this one, probably not going to have as much cash as they would like going into the final round of the half. But there's no time to talk it over, Keith. They're going super fast up. Short missed shot from Keys, however. And, well, I don't think the repeat's coming in anytime soon. Meanwhile, over at Ramp, Fame to hold things down. Quick flick up, ready for the next as well. Jalem not fast enough on the trade. Also going to fall. Fame doing such a good job early on. 5-on-3 as they look to solidify their 7th.
How good is Fame? Kalinka trying to shut down connector with JR. And they have all rotated to A. SG.PRO, with that pick, they're going B. Without a doubt. Can JR deal with the upper? He can, but can the... another question is, Problem's not rotating through market. Fame's just going to lurk out and be a nuisance. They want to deal with him before they really figure out what's going on, and Fame is just so quick. 3 for Fame. Finally shut down by Problem. And he can do one of two things. Grab the op and kind of save it, or go for this and be the hero. With loss bonus, HELLRAISERS will buy next. That's not a worry. I would like to see him go for this full set of utility on top of everything else going for him. And he sees the bombs planted for Cat. And he has Cat. So he's a little confused and a little worried. Look at the smoke on the bomb and look for the Halls players that he knows is more than certainly there. And he's given a fair fight against Dire, but just can't win it. 7-7. HELLRAISERS starting to get run over here in the later stages of this half. As I mentioned, it will be a buy. JR can afford the up and just barely. FAMAS is for the rest who have to downgrade to get utility. And it has been the SG.PRO turn around, Scriv. And if it's one thing SG.PRO are good at, it's keeping these games close.
True. Very true. Jalem to get aggressive. Fame, though, is the king of ramp in these past few rounds. Absolutely unstoppable. 1 HP left, but you come at him, he's going to frag you. That's the way things have been going early on. We shall see how they recover things back here on the HELLRAISERS side, but slowed way down since that first frag. SG.PRO got so much time to work with. Smoke's coming in towards B as well. Gonna be more successful this time, maybe? Oh! Hey, let's go. Let's go. Absolutely huge. Are they going to act on it? It looks like they are, with a bit more of like a through the smoke short play. JR going to take out Keys. This might be a little riskier to go for. There's still 2 more players on the B bomb site to get through, and they have really slowed down here. Smoke's going to begin to dissipate. Maybe that's part of the plan. Perfect peek from Blinker, only good for 1, but it's Problem, who is standing so strong at the van. Fame the only one left, and he is on 1 HP. Surely not. He does have the AWP, but it's just not going to happen for him. I don't think so. Nice little peek coming in. Okay. Maybe I spoke too soon. Trying to land a cheeky shot here and there. He needs to be so fast with it. And as soon as he shows himself, problems ready. There you go. The 8th round for HELLRAISERS. They just take it over the line at the turn of the half. Certainly not perfect from them. Few messy rounds, few messy decisions coming in places, but overall they will indeed take the lead.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I want to check the odds from our betting partner LoopBet because I want to see where this is lying. Right? Did the odds change? Have they shifted the live odds? Really? Damn. Okay, Scriv, that is. Is there supposed to be a decimal between that one? Probably not. That is a shift. Okay. Wow. That one caught me off guard, not gonna lie. That is a change. And to talk about the last round from SG.PRO, not a big fan of that strat. It buys a lot of time for the site players to focus on your Halls player, and it's exactly what happened. Anyway, into this pistol, as of course the sides have swapped. It's SG.PRO. Again, with all the kills on these pistols. They are just CT pistol masters, Scriv. Every CT pistol, I feel they deliver. Every time.
Yeah. It's a really nice starting point for them to work with, right? Really, really, really good stuff. They don't lose a single player. Super clean, super easy. Love to see it. Gonna have a technical pause coming in, so hopefully won't be waiting too long here to get the ball rolling again, as I'm sure SG.PRO want to get going. Yeah, HELLRAISERS probably not going to expect too much from them here. We see a few deagles brought up. Definitely got to give the respect to this. Okay, they're fully committing to it, Keith. Not sure if I'm a massive fan of this one. I can't lie to you. UMP being dropped across. This is a little desperate, I think, to be honest. But we'll see. Looking to keep the pressure on early on. See how it goes. Oh, there we go. There's maybe some adjusted odds. I think they're coming up just to show people.
Okay, cool.
Not quite as mental. Whew. Yeah.
I was like, really? Yeah. That makes more sense. That makes me feel a bit better about it. And here we are. Pistols for HELLRAISERS. The force buy is in swing. It's in session. And let's be honest, IRA on the USP, couple MP9, could really spell disaster for SG.PRO. They're going to try to boost the UMP in the smoke, and Incinerator going to be all over it. And problem is, this timing. How long do they give him to make a play? He's going to find out B's empty. He's going to figure this out. They know RU fires the B player. He's pushed underpass. Look for them to start running through B. Maybe still trying to give some time to problem, but I think the clock is starting to really become the issue. RU fire one in the nade. Jalem and JR need this. And at least problems here. That's clean. That's great. Keys is weak. This can still turn, Scriv. This round is getting weird.
Always wacky in this series, my guy. Real hard to keep up if you are not watching every single round. Deagle shot being missed from short there, by the way. Bomb's not been planted yet. The rotations are in. They've gone, screw it, mate. We're going A. We're going A. And Dire's like, I am one step ahead. Quite literally, on the steps of stairs, waiting for them to move in. Oh, beautiful shots coming in from Dire. Denies any chance at the round at all. The 9th for SG.PRO secured. It's a little dicey. It's a little close. But not going to happen in the end for HELLRAISERS. Look at these. Whew. Whew. Love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. Apparently, TikTok is down, guys.
Panic!
By the way, the end times.
It's kind of like the same idea as if Google's down, you're in trouble. If TikTok's down, watch out.
Yeah, really, really watch out if you know what I'm saying. If you're in the know about TikTok. Either way.
Yeah.
Counter-Strike's not down, which is great, and we don't want it to be. Touch wood, knock on wood, depends on which side of the ocean you're on. I don't know why that's different, but we say touch wood. You guys say knock on wood.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we give her a good knock.
Hmm. I suppose we're just a bit nicer to the wood. I don't know.
Yeah. It's true. Keys. Top mid looking to make a slaughter, and they realize, and problem has an AK. That's an issue. But the MP9 dying for the info should be no problem. Hellraisers looking to collapse on this A site. Fame, based on his movements, how often he's flicking back and forth, he's nervous, and he knows his teammate's susceptible to a palace pop. Kalinka missing the timing on trying to come out through top connector. I guess he's kind of baiting and setting up JR. But yeah, the AK will fall. The pistols will find a success. SG.PRO, double-digit territory. HELLRAISERS, the purchase back problem can get a Galil utility. SG.PRO gonna sneak out a bit of a bonus. And they even get that AK, so there you are.
All right, HELLRAISERS, my guys, do or die. You need to pick up the energy. You need to find something here. Starting to get away from them on the T side of things. Again, this is SG.PRO's map pick. As you can see, you know, HELLRAISERS picked up the first. Us two will be going to train if it's required. There you go, bringing everybody up to speed if you've only just joined us, as they often say on television. Breaking news, all that good stuff. Burst out onto the A-bomb site coming in, though. Just ahead of the smokes here, Dire. Nice and aggressive in a triple, not really being dealt with. Fame caught out in the open. There's a lot of quick rotations coming in here. Beautiful stuff from Flaric, though, as he finds the spam. Finds the advantage. Opportunity for a bomb plant. The smoke's starting to dissipate, though, so you've got to move in quickly here, guys. Flashes and Molotovs to clear out the toll booth angle, but Sinator, he's still got a pretty decent spot to work with. Minute left, though, Keith. They don't need to rush things here. They're just waiting for the CTs to move into them now that they have the advantage and doing so perfectly. Keys will land a nice little shot. RU fire coming in from above. Able to find another. Brings it into the 2 versus 2. The tip of the head spotted out by Keys. It's all left onto Flaric. It's come down to this. Oh, it was so key that he finds that frag. Brings it down up against Keys. Gonna peek out. Finds the spray. Keys misses his shots. And SG.PRO missed their chance at an 11th. HELLRAISERS will finally get a foot back in the door.
Now that the door's open and they didn't have to knock Scriv, they kind of just waltzed on in. What a round win from Flaric there. Even able to grab the op as a prize. I don't mind the pause. I thought it was a timeout, but it was just a tech still. Gives you a moment to discuss what you want to do on the SG.PRO side. You know you're going to be a little short-handed in the sense of utility, kits, and the lot. Are you fire prioritizes utility over the kits? Dire, buy kit! Dire! All right, everyone, pay attention. If they lose the round based on defuse and a clutchable situation, not saying to blame Dire, but blame Dire.
Yeah, true. True. Blame him ever so slightly, perhaps.
They're gonna walk out Malta. They're gonna contact Palace onto the A site. Oh, this CT player could be in trouble. Is he giving a fair fight? It's overlooked. I really like the idea from HELLRAISERS, but both players get caught looking at the same player. The second man could be there kind of supporting.
I think because they're set up for the retake on the A site as well, there's no one like at default or triple or anything like that. They're set up very, very passively. It just, unbeknownst to them, is not the right time to go for a play like that, unfortunately. So, yeah. They get caught off. It's not massive, though. JR does trade one back. I guess Flaric is left pretty damn low, so that could have an effect. But I do like this from HELLRAISERS. It's a little bit slower, a little bit more thought out. Have to bear in mind there's very little utility here from the CT side. Jerry with some late round aggression. Flaric getting the best of him is absolutely huge, though. Meanwhile, in the apartments, Fame tries to be the hero. Not going to happen for him. And the 4 versus 2 coming in. HELLRAISERS look set to pick up another round. They also have no idea. It could be A, it could be B. We don't really know right now on the SG.PRO side of things. So it looks like we're going to be all even Stevens, baby.
Wow. This is a whole new sort of Hellraisers that I'm getting into. From trouble to recovery, Scriv. They seem to be in control of these rounds. Even when they might be out of it for a moment at the beginning, it gets brought back. And they're going to hunt. Kalinka does not want this M4. And can you really blame him? Is he going to check behind him? Yeah, it's probably the last place you look for Incinerator there. Keys at least can save the op in towards this CT spawn. And he'll be right back there in a moment. 10-10 SG.PRO. I don't believe they're going to force around this op and M4. I'm trying to think what their loss bonus is. I think it's around 2,400. So they'll be able to buy next. Again, that's just off the top of my head. I've been wrong before. So look for them to just get pistols, maybe a couple flashes on the players that aren't going to buy. But it's been the Jalem and Problem show. You said the two players that are sometimes inconsistent. They're playing well for Hellraisers.
Yeah, stepping it up in a big way. And that's really cool because we saw kind of, I suppose Jalem was looking good on Dust 2, but Flyrich and JR, the more established players, looking good on Dust 2. And it's nice to see a little bit of a shift in that sense that they have a lot of individuals they can rely on right now. In this series, at least. Looking pretty damn good individually. Here we go, though. I like the spot here from Keys. He does get one, but he's traded back quickly. Dire, same kind of deal. Meanwhile, over on B, Kalinka quickly dealing with Zinator. So 3 versus 2 coming in, RU Fire. And Fame looking to maybe find this isolated player over on the B bomb site. But not going to happen. So looking set to be an 11th for Hellraisers.
Yeah, without a doubt, the lead back in their hands comfortably. Neither team has had a chance this entire game, though, Scriv, to build that economy, which sometimes happens on T sides. They're able to build some money, pull away with it, but Hellraisers are one round away from just being ruined, economically speaking. And if SG.PRO get any more kills here, that's even more adding to that story. They have set up here in really good spots. I don't know if Kalinka's going to be ready for this peak fire. He's not, but recovers nicely. Fame, M4, any kills is good. He's going to molly the plant, 18 seconds. Is Jowr going to stick it through the molly? He is. Making it all the way back to Firebox through the flames. He'll live. I'm surprised Fame's not just backing on out of this. I know you're buying next, but an M4 means full utility. It means a kit. He's going for kills. The op will get picked up. Hey, kills are kills. No op again on the CT side. That might become a problem, Scriv. I feel like that's a really big part of their success.
Yeah, it's pretty true. They're in a real tough spot. I think Hellraisers are in a really good position. If they win this next rifle round, they're in a fantastic position, right? They get to 12-10, probably 13 off the back of it, and they're able to keep the CT economy fully under wraps. But Fame getting ahead of the smoke has got other ideas opening up pretty nicely. An attempt is made there, I think, to get into the apartments. Maybe a little too late to find anything, though. We'll see ourselves in a 5-on-4, but RU Fire pushing in. This is a lot of information to be gained when you've already got a man advantage. Brilliant stuff so far.
He's in the ladder room, looking like he wants to try to gain some info in mid. Push off and maybe just tuck in towards Catwalk. But he's hanging out for now. As the smoke will land in window, JR will go Catwalk. He is the lone B-split player into this. I'm not sure if he's going to get a drop on keys. He won't. That's an op for the man if he so wishes. RU Fire off angle on B. They know what's coming. They have to have some sort of idea. RU Fire 1. Good trade out. And this has to be a must-convert round for SG.PRO. Keys lets the first out, but Flyrich bangs his head off. Incinerator out of the market window. Looking for a good fight. And it is Flarich alone, stuck on the balcony, and it's just not fair. It's not a good fight. 11 for Hellraisers. SG.PRO keep 3 alive, can get AKs. There's even an op catwalk. That is like it. Good play. I think the big player was Keys there, living as long as he did with all that information, and good on Fame.
Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win.
Well, when they are needed, SG.PRO able to step things back up. Certainly not out of the woods as yet. There is enough money available just about for Hellraisers to buy up. Problem and Flarich feeling the burn ever so slightly. So this is the chance for SG.PRO to turn things around. Take us to that third map train. Another map that, you know, we are fairly confident in for them. Just today, right? Looking good on it today. So they would definitely like to make it there, and the 2-1 victory certainly possible off the back of it. Hellraisers. Take a look. Oh. Alright, just trying to land an early one. Not happening for him. Meanwhile, over on B, they've got Problem in aggressively. Inside the smoke, RU Fire has a bit of an idea, but not quite sold on the fact. Boost up coming in. Timing going to be absolutely everything here. Problem. Walking out. RU Fire, though, with the off angle. Not going to swing for it. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Keys, of course, finding that opener. Problem has to be very careful. If he gets spotted out, he's dead to rights, because RU Fire will just peek into him. Beautiful shot from Keys once again coming in. Looking good here. Misses that one. But surely has done his work for the round. And yeah, I like this from Fame. Backing off, not taking the fight. Forcing the fights to come from Hellraisers. And it's just not happening for them. JR will trade the AWP back finally. Needed that earlier on in the round though, my friends. And all the utility being utilized here by SG.PRO, and it's looking good for them. Fame finds another. JR, oh, he lands the shot, but it's a leg because Dire was in midair. Unlucky. SG.PRO, though, no luck for them. All skill. They will protest. They'll pick up a 12th. They'll gain the lead. They'll break the economy. This is looking very good indeed.
We have a game now, Scriv. SG.PRO. Double ops, as you mentioned, economy broken. They have set themselves up for back-to-back buys. And Hellraisers are probably discussing, what do we do? We can't force here. We really need a bomb plant. Desperately need one. I don't know if SG.PRO are going to be willing to give that one up. With double ops, it's hard to break in. Maybe Hellraisers go for a couple smokes across the board, some flashes, trying to just make it as crazy as they can and plant that bomb. This is SG.PRO showing you why this is their map pick, though, on the CT side script. It has been in control the whole way through. Not a moment of hesitation. And Keys, that's a quick, risky peek towards mid window, but you know he's going back for more. He's just calling for the flash. He's waiting, seeing if they go up catwalk. And yeah, and he doesn't like his odds anymore. With no one playing towards cat, he'll back up. And Hellraisers will shift out. Not getting the fight they wanted. They wanted Keys to repeat. Instead, it's back to trusty old B.
Honestly, need to like deny the bomb plant here. I think from SG.PRO, that's such a good result if they're able to get it. It's not looking too likely. Oh no, you're gonna get overwhelmed by the pistols. But are you fire with the quickest 4K you've ever seen on the AK? We'll retrieve that AWP as well, and Hellraiser's slim chance at that round snatched away from them. I suppose dropping one is nice, but look at this. Just mowing them down. All headshots, beautiful stuff. Absolutely fantastic.
Well, no op for Hellraisers. He's missing the jump. Is he going to retreat underpass? That is risky. He could just call for a smoke down connector. There is one. He could piece out if he wants to. Incinerator supporting some catwalk with the secondary op. And yeah, Keys was in trouble. I think Clint was so shocked the op was there. Flarich! Both ops bodied by Hellraisers. And now they can hit that reset button Here comes Fame. Oh my. Flashes over. So good from SG.PRO. Not a kill back from Hellraisers. They are just flushed out with that utility usage from SG.PRO. And how does Fame perform a robbery like that, Scriv? I bet he does it with a straight face and maybe a smirk.
You're right. I think it's just been spotted out. Guessing game begins now. Problem hanging around the middle. They'll drop into the site. Tiny bit of damage taken. Problem, though, is the difference maker here. He hears the player on short. Spots the one out in connector. Not able to find it. Great flash coming in. Actually, no. It was a team flash, so terrible flash coming in. Bomb going to be dropped right at their feet. Jalen, though, trying to clutch things out here. It's so very fast. How has it come down to this? He's just getting peeked over and over and over, but eventually finds it. Dire can't finish him off. He's left on 1 HP, my guy. Wow.
Spam the ones! Spam the ones!
That is
like
so
that,
damn close.
Look where the bomb goes, too. Like,
yeah, I know.
Oh, he did so twice! Twice! Just through the stairs. Oh, he's gonna be so upset. And Hellraisers with the Mac 10 on JR. Look for a quick play. Like popping through this top cat smoke. Again, a missed jump from Incinerator. This time towards cat. The molly damage is free. And Hellraisers are doing the exact same default they did last round, Scriv. I am torn.
Yeah, I don't know. Not sure we're a massive fan, but second time the charm, I guess, is what they're after here. Deep smokes coming into that A-bomb site. Not really committing off the back of them, though, so certainly just keeping the attention of the CT side around. Fame. Oh, he almost messes it up. Does get it in the end. Kalinka, meanwhile, has crept in. Easy frag onto Keys, and they have so much control at the jungle side of things. Kalinka nades himself, lol, but should be all good here. Great little Molotov coming in, and a great angle from Kalinka. The trades are fast and thick from Hellraisers. Only Fame remaining, 1 versus 3. A massive clutch in the previous round has spurred them forwards to, at the very least, even things up. Maybe even take the lead. You look at the cash here for SG.PRO, it's not fab. So, yeah, looking good. Looking good for Hellraisers. Possibly turn things around at the very tail end of the game. And they're going to eliminate every single player as well.
Do or die, though, for SG. Keep in mind, there is still the decider underneath this. I believe the loser team gets tossed into that, Scriv. If my process brain is working.
Yeah, so I think currently we have the elimination game going over on the B stream.
Yeah. Which fours have a map up over AGF.
This. Okay, well there you are. Quick update for you gamers. And yeah, the loser of this faces off against whoever. Ooh.
Looking like fours, yeah.
Okay.
Ooh. That could be interesting. Just imagine an SG Force rematch in a best of 3. That could be spicy. SG.PRO not gonna do one of their, may I say, famed Force spies. No.
No.
That's fine. We'll let it slide. It's alright. I mean, it's whatever. It's whatever. But yeah, I'm color me surprised. Not doing one of their typical Force buys. This one is so close. Not worth the risk in their mind. But look how slow they have Hellraisers playing this. I think Hellraisers are nervous.
Hey, this is a key round, my guy. This is really important. Get this cleanly on the board. I think they are unsure, you know, of how things are going to go here. And I mean, they're walking into a stack. They've lost the first. The flashes coming through pretty speedy, will allow them to trade one back, but gotta be careful. The spams through the smoke, you never know, might find a cheeky heady. Sinator on the flank, will they expect this with the 5-7? Spots out one, spots out a second, decides to go for it. He gets kind of 1.5 kills. It's not going to be enough though. And HELLRAISERS up to 14 just like that.
Well, the opts out for Keys. I think that's a big pivotal point for SG.PRO. He's been great. He's put himself in unfavorable positions as of late. If he's going for this catwalk jump, I hope he hits it this time around. I think it's about time he does. And he won't again. Lucky to not be punished, but it forces the smoke out of his hand. He can't work that opening pick he so desperately wanted. And as RU Fire is getting mollied off and smoked off from information, it could just allude to an early rotation from Senator. And it is the B explode alert coming up mid from Kalinka. RU Fire, good dink. Can he clean up the Mac 10? He can't. At least Senator can. Will not be able to deny the plant, peeking into 2. The trades are glorious. Fame, the smoke in front of him, missing his shots, and that is a must-find kill. And here comes the flank from Kalinka. It is a round ender. It is a 15 acquiring kill. As Dire is left in dire straits, and he will be put down. 15 HELLRAISERS, Scriv. That was decisive, that was promising, and that was a feverish, fast B hit.
Yeah, and they get caught in the distraction of it, right? I mean, sure, the frontal attack is sound, but Kalinka, imagine there's 2 in market there or whatever, right? He has such a great position to just finish things, like you said. And that may well be it. Dire forgot to buy armor. Whoopsie daisy, gonna go down early, doesn't matter. I mean, the armor wouldn't have saved him there, so see you later. He may well be the first to fall. He may well be the dreams falling with him. SG.PRO need a hero to step up here. Fame in an aggressive position. He was the king of ramp on that T side. Will he do the same here? Oh, the flashes come in perfectly. RU Fire going to fall on the other side of things. Looks like it's all said and done here. Senator tagged down to 22 through the smoke. Trying to find a better weapon. Not going to happen for him. Now down to 16 as the nade comes in. Keys, where are you, mate? He's in on the flank, but he's going to need to have the round of his life. Finds the first. They know where he's at. Flash comes in. Another flash comes in. At the moment, just buying time. He will fall to Kalinka, and HELLRAISERS do it. They clean it up 2-0. A little harder for them there on Mirage, but they managed to get it over the line in the end on their opponent's map pick, a map that they've not been doing so well on recently. So SG.PRO hitting a solid brick wall.
I am thoroughly impressed by these young guns and Problem and Jalinka.
Yeah.
Like, these guys, they're Kalinka and Jalem. Those 3 players, to me, outshadowed Flarich and JR. JR and Flarich still did their jobs, but Problem, Kalinka, and Jalem all stood up